coming up on 4th Down.
The newest Saints show off at rookie camp why Brandon Cooks is the key to the Saints' offensive success. Plus, one Tulane player goes from defense to offense. Another Greenie signs with the Saints on graduation day. And what will the future hold for Green Wave baseball?
This is the last word on sports. 4th Down on 4, presented by Acme Oyster House, starts now.
Beyond excited. That's how first-round draft pick Brandon Cooks described how he views his situation with the Saints. No rookie in the entire draft steps into a better position, and Cooks knows it. I'm Doug Mouton. Welcome to 4th Down on 4. The 2014 preps are now well underway. The rookie minicamp is done, and this weekend, all eyes were on number 10. His skill set is something Sean Payton hasn't had before as Saints coach, a wideout who can fly and who understands his good fortune.
I'm beyond excited. Like I said, it's similar to my offense back in college, so I'm excited to be able to blow the top off and those other type of things.
I think we can line him up in the slot, line him up outside. He's got, a very good skill set with regards to his acceleration, his speed. He catches the ball well. I like his toughness.
In the craziness that was round one of the draft, many thought Brandon Cooks would go 18th to the New York Jets. Sean Payton said after the draft, when the Jets passed on Cooks at 18 and went elsewhere, they decided to make the move up to get him.
I knew I was going to be in the first round somewhere. There was talk at 18, a little earlier than that, but I'm honestly, I feel like out of all the receivers, I got the best pick. They trade down from 27 to 20th, and a playoff contending team in the Super Bowl. That's what we're chasing. So I'm actually really excited to be here.
If the Saints are going to make a Super Bowl run, they'll need Cooks to come up large. They need him to be the guy to take the pressure off Jimmy Graham in the passing game. For Sean Payton and Pete Carmichael, he's a new toy who can be used in a variety of new ways.
They wouldn't have drafted me if they didn't feel like I can come in and make an immediate impact. And I know that, and that's what I'm putting on my shoulders, and I'm going to continue to work for that.
His role will have to be defined over the course of training camp, but no doubt Brandon Cooks will have a large role on the Saints team in 2014. You cannot say that for sure about any of the other 69 guys working out this weekend, even the other draft picks.
I just want to show them that I can make an impact on their team and be helpful to their roster and be consistent.
Of the undrafted free agents, maybe the most intriguing, 6'6" receiver Brandon Cooks from Rutgers. Cooks carried a third-round grade heading into the draft, but injuries and inconsistencies dropped him, and Sean Payton seems to have taken an interest.
He's a big target. He's been very productive. And there's just some little things that we're working on with him just with regards to his transition, but he's picked things up well. He seems to be moving around well.
He's just, trying to help me get acclimated with the system and telling me about certain routes and how to have my body, just have my body just working through different routes and sinking my hips and things like that.
Those are the things Jimmy Graham and especially Marcus Colston do exceptionally well. Brandon Coleman brings a skill set similar to a young Colston, and he could help eventually. Brandon Cooks' time is now. He says Drew Brees texted him on draft night.
They just decided to have me on here and welcome me on board, and just like the other guys did. And I'm excited to be able to play with a potential Hall of Fame quarterback like that, smart and obviously real good. So I'm excited to play with him.
He should be. It appears to be a perfect marriage. A lot more from Rookie Minicamp coming up in a minute, but first, our special guest, Ben Grubbs, has a softball event coming up this week. We'll talk about that in a minute. The draft comes up, Ben, and the Saints, a lot of people thought they might go center. You've got Tim Lolito, the undrafted free agent from last year, sort of penciled in as the starter right now. Yeah. Did you think the team might go center? How do you look at the way the inside of the offensive line stacks up right now?
Well, I didn't really focus on the draft a lot. There's a lot of things outside of football that I try to keep my mind on when I'm not on the field, so I let the coaches, handle that part. But I think they did a pretty good job. We didn't pick a center in the draft, so I guess they have confidence in Tim Lolito, and we certainly do as well. He started for us 2 games last year, and we won both, so that's at least a start. When he wasn't playing in the games, he was practicing at the center position. So, we know what he has. He's definitely a very talented player, and we're looking forward to whoever whoever gets that center position.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't earned it yet, and we had heard the Saints loved him from the beginning of training camp last year. How much does it help to have you and Jari Evans, probably the best set of guards in the NFL, to sort of watch out for him, watch his back, sort of help him learn? How much does it help him to have the two of you?
Well, thanks for that compliment, but you know, it helps, you know, and also on the offensive line is Zach Strief, who is a 9-year vet as well, and he's very knowledgeable and he knows the offense like none other. So, I mean, having a group of guys on the offensive line is beneficial no matter what position they're playing. And for the guys that are coming along, like Teron Armstead and Tim Lolita, you know, we definitely have a lot of advice and a lot of wisdom and knowledge to pass on, and we're willingly and able to do it.
The way this offensive line was playing by playoff time, you got to feel pretty good about that and the momentum that gives sort of heading into this year, yes?
Yeah, I mean, even though we didn't get to the Super Bowl, which is always our goal, we try to find the good things out of a bad situation, and we did run the ball well, and there's a lot of things that we have to get better at, you know, pass protection, and definitely open up some bigger holes for the running backs. We certainly can do a better job at that. But to see the way that we ended is definitely some upside to this offense.
Yeah, no question about it. And heading into this week, Ben Grubb's foundation putting on the softball event at Zephyr Field Wednesday night. Talk about the event. How much fun is it to sort of get the one-on-one with a lot of Saints fans?
It's going to be a lot of fun. This is my second year doing it. Last year we had a pretty good turnout. The fans loved it. I got a lot of great feedback from the fans. My teammates had a blast. You know, even though we're competitive guys and, you know, by nature, just to go out there and play a sport that we have not quite got the hang of yet.
Sometimes you can tell.
Right. It was just fun. It was fun to see, and that's what the fans look forward to. We're going to be raffling off different prizes, helmets, footballs. I may even raffle off a Pro Bowl jersey with all the Pro Bowl 2014 Saints players signed. So we may raffle that off as well. And this is going to be really fun for the kids. We're going to have a pinch runner for a few of us. So we're going to start grabbing kids out the stands randomly so they can come on the field and, you know, interact with some of the players, so they'll enjoy that.
It is a chance for the fans to get to meet you guys in a different way. Game day on Sunday is all business. This is not, right?
Right. No, this is fun, man. This is for the community. The Boys and Girls Club of New Orleans is who I help support. You know, it's funny when you look to be a blessing to people, but in all actuality, they kind of bless you, and that's what has been happening. My visits down to the Boys and Girls Club, it's been an awesome time there, and I just love going down there visiting.
It's a great event for a great cause. It is Wednesday night at Zephyr Field. Home Run Derby starts at 6 o'clock. A chance to interact with some players and a good time for everyone. Ben Grubbs, thanks for coming on. Good luck to you in the offseason. We'll see you at training camp. Back with more Fourth Down on 4 in a minute. Coming up, Derek Strozier was a defensive and special teams ace for the Green Wave last year, but the Saints will be moving him to the other side of the ball. Where does he think he belongs? And a great day got even greater for former Tulane safety Devin Walker, getting a contract with the Black and Gold. And later, a tumultuous season for the Green Wave baseball team is leading into an off-season of uncertainty.
Fourth Down on 4 is sponsored by your Super Chevy dealers.
38 of the players working out at Saints camp there were tryouts. One of those guys last year was an unknown running back named Kyrie Robinson, who went on to run for more than 100 yards in the Saints' 2 playoff games. So making it is possible, and Tulane's Derek Strozier took the first step this weekend, as Juan Kincaid reports.
Every time Saints rookie camp rolls around, some familiar faces resurface on Airline Drive. Jordan Jefferson, 3 years removed from his last game at LSU, is still pursuing his NFL dream with a coaching staff that knows his game the best.
We're pretty familiar with the player. We saw him up at LSU. He actually threw for our local workout here that we hold every year in the indoor facility. He's athletic, he's big, he's picked things up well.
Meanwhile, fellow Tiger alum Jacob Hester is trying to make his third NFL roster since coming into the league back in 2008. The Saints gave him 3 days to make an impact, and according to Sean Payton, he did.
He's smart. He's very instinctive. You can see that. He's been with a handful of teams. I think everyone, everywhere he's been, though, there's been a niche for him.
And that sums up the weekend for not only Hester, but most of the players out here, especially the 3-day tryout players, finding their niche, giving the coaching staff a reason to keep you around beyond the weekend. And former Tulane cornerback Derek Strozier has found his as a running back.
I'm just out here just trying to fight for a position, out here just trying to make a good impression on the coaches, and wherever they need me, that's where I'm going to fill in at.
This weekend, Strozier was Darren Sproles 2.0, donning his number 43 jersey, looking the part, in stature at least, but his play also raised some eyebrows.
I wasn't as familiar with the player. Mike New, of course, and CJ, those guys were able to reference, what he did early in his career. He's pretty smart. He's got real good hands. He's quick. He's been impressive.
Payton said it was Strozier's choice as to which position he wanted to compete in here at camp.
Of course, I looked at the roster and positions that I could possibly play, and I just went with it. Whatever they told me to do, I just did it. And whatever playbook, the position, whatever they give me, whatever offense or defense, I was going to play it, so it didn't matter to me.
At times, Strozier did play both ways, running back and cornerback during his time at Tulane, and it's that kind of versatility that's going to keep him in the Saints' summer plans. From Saints Rookie Camp, I'm Juan Kincaid, 4th down on 4.
At training camp, the Saints have signed him. Saturday, he graduated from Tulane along with his former teammate, Devin Walker, who Sean Payton called an inspiration.
Just tell him, just say, hey, Coach.
Saturday, the feel-good moment of rookie minicamp. The Saints announced they signed former Tulane safety Devin Walker to a contract.
Coach Johnson, those guys, I think all of them became better for having been around Devin and the inspiration he's given, and it just rubs off. You can't help but rub off on you. So we're excited, I know, and I'm fired up to see him in his graduation gear as well. That's huge.
Paralyzed less than 2 years ago, Devin Walker's fight inspired the city. He graduated from Tulane with a degree in cell and molecular biology.
Devin Walker, congratulations.
I was kind of sitting there just listening, and then you gave me a shout out, and I kind of was like, how you wake up, you're like, oh my God. So yeah, it was very exciting.
Just one of those guys that so special, so inspirational. You know that he is destined for so many great things in his life, and just blessed to know him.
I'm proud to be up here with him, and I'm super proud of his recovery and the way he's handled this and the way he's approached this. And I know he and his family are thankful for the support from so many of you that have helped him through this process.
Still ahead, has Rick Jones, the face of the Tulane baseball program, coached his last game for the Green Wave. The Advocate Scott Kushner weighs in, and we analyze what has to happen for the LSU Tigers to host a regional at Alec Box. LSU, UL Lafayette Southeastern, and Nicholls State are all getting ready for their conference baseball tournaments, while Tulane is pondering what's next. Huge uncertainty now clouds Green Wave baseball, as Brian Salmon reports.
Matt Groff is there. Tulane is headed to Omaha.
For 21 years, Rick Jones has been the face of Tulane baseball.
This is the program he built. Everything you see here is what Rick Jones built. And so he cares so much about this place.
A place Jones occupied longer than many of the kids currently playing for the Wave have been alive. He's a pillar, and likely the reason some players chose to play uptown. So you can imagine it was tough getting accustomed to life without Coach Jones for the final 32 games.
It's definitely been different. It's been different for everyone, especially new head coach, Coach Gotro, and even being around here, knowing Coach Jones has been around for 20-so years. It's different.
The Greenies were 10-10 when Coach Jones' health caused doctors to instruct him to make the tough decision of leaving the bench.
And I'm sure it's hard. I know it's hard for him to have to sit at home and listen to it or watch it on TV. I can only imagine. But it's where we are with this, and he gets it, we get it, and we're just trying to play good baseball.
And from that point on, the Wave went 13-19, missing the conference tournament, but the Wave did manage to end its season by taking 2 of 3 from FIU.
I think we have something here, we just we're in a tight bunch, just everyone kind of getting real amped up and not really worried so much about the next series. We want to worry about this game, and everyone kind of came together and everyone's starting to have that team chemistry back like we had the first year.
It definitely shows the caliber of team that we can do. I mean, even when we started to go through our funk, we showed that we can beat the top teams. We beat LSU, we beat some teams in San Francisco, and we have what it takes.
It's been a tough season for the Tulane Green Wave, not making the conference tournament, but they haven't had Rick Jones, their head coach, and that's made it even tougher. But head coach Jake Gautreau, who's filled in very nicely, has the Tulane Green Wave playing well towards the end of the season and looking very bright entering next season.
I've seen them really grow over the last month and a half. You're starting to see guys that are finding ways to win ball games and they understand the team approach. And so here lately, it's been a fun team to watch.
With a lot of young guys that we have this year, we'll have a lot of veteran experience next year, even though they're relatively young.
And the experience hasn't just helped the players, but also a guy like Coach Jake Gautreau, who made a seamless transition from hitting coach and infield instructor to interim head coach.
He's fun to play for. He's a young guy. He may not have as much experience as Coach Jones, but he definitely knows what he's talking about. And we come out here every day and we want to learn new stuff, and anything from him we can learn.
And although head coach Rick Jones has been gone physically, he's remained inside Turchin Stadium in spirit, as Coach Gautreau has continued to seek counsel from the team's head man.
We are keeping consistent contact with him, and he's still very much a part of this. He's living and dying with every pitch at home. He listens, and he also watches games on TV.
And now the question remains, will Rick Jones be back for the 2015 season? At Turchin Stadium, Brian Salmon, 4th down on 4.
All right, thanks, Brian. Joined by Scott Kushner, who covers Tulane for The Advocate. Simple question. What happens now? Crystal ball, what happens with the Tulane coach's job this offseason?
I think my guess is as good as Jake Gautreau's and as good as Rick Jones's at this point. Nobody really knows, and I don't even think Rick Dixon has a real answer because he's going to wait to hear from the doctors, number one. They need to know what's going to happen with Rick Jones, because if Rick Jones is able to return, that kind of changes the whole paradigm. If he can come back for one last year, then you have the option of letting him coach out the rest of his contract, which would let you not have to pay for a buyout, and that would save the athletic department not only some money, but would allow the best coach in program history to go out on his terms. If he can't return, then you either go with Gautreau or you have to go in a totally new direction, which Rick Dixon has never had to do for the baseball program.
That's right. And you wrote in Friday's paper, the most disturbing thing maybe this year is the lack of support you see at Turchin, although to me it seems pretty simple. If you start winning again, people will come back. Agreed?
Absolutely. And the beer man of 18 years there told me the same thing. He's saying, I had a crew of 6 or 7 people here when it opened. Now it's just him. So it's pretty simple. When you don't win and you don't play good opponents, nobody's going to show up. This team is not in the SEC. They're not bringing in huge teams every weekend. They're moving to a conference where baseball is an unknown. There are only 8 baseball teams in the American Athletic Conference. You need to be stable yourself, and then you got to figure out where to go from there. You can't try to put people in the seats with marketing and promotions and all that stuff before you start winning.
And we won't know that until we know Rick Jones's health, which will be this offseason. Okay, I know you follow college baseball. Your opinion, will UL Lafayette get one of the 8 national seeds?
The way their RPI is set up right now, I think if they're able to go through the conference tournament cleanly, which they've gone through the rest of the conference pretty cleanly, that they should be able to host a super regional, and that would be a huge step for that program.
And LSU, probably not a super regional, you think, but yes on the regional. Is that right?
If they bow out early in the SEC tournament, it's going to be difficult for them to even get the regional. Joe Oliva was saying you can't buy him anymore like you used to back, back when Skip was there and Joe Dean would just throw the money out there for it. You can't really do that anymore. LSU's going to have to play its way into it. They probably need to win at least a game in Hoover. That shouldn't be too tall of a task, though.
Scott Kushner, terrific job as always. Thanks for joining us. Back with more 4th Down on 4 in a minute. This was the final out in Missouri today as Delgado put away Seminole State to advance to the Junior College World Series. With a roster filled with local players, Joe Sherman's team becomes the third Delgado baseball team to get there. Congratulations. The Dolphins open play in the World Series Saturday. It's a busy week ahead. Tuesday, New Orleans finds out if it'll host the 2018 Super Bowl. We will be in Atlanta for that announcement. Our reports begin tomorrow night at 10. And we'll be at the SEC Baseball Tournament in Hoover. LSU opens play Wednesday. For Brian and Juan, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on 4th Down on 4.
Transportation for guests on 4th Down on 4, provided by Nicole's Limousines.